Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. After the breakthrough of his body, numerous portals started to appear within the void space of his Milky Way Holy Land universe successively. Endless chaotic airflow gushed in to be continuously absorbed and converted, and this allowed for the continuous expansion of his miniature universe. 10.1 billion light-years, 10.2 billion light-years, 30 billion light-years, 60 billion light-years. It continued to expand. Likewise, the length of time required was also extended. True gods and universe masters of various races were stunned into speechlessness. Gosh! Even East Emperor Holy Land Universe's diameter was only 3.2 billion light-years. Exactly how big could Luo Feng's Milky Way Holy Land Universe get? Plus, Teacher Origin's miniature universe was also starting to undergo a change. Its volume was starting to undergo rapid expansion. Teacher Origin's miniature universe is expanding, too. It has already reached a diameter of 1.8 billion light-years, and it is continuing to expand. I think his miniature universe will not be as fearsome as Milky Way Horde leaders. Great beings of the various other races were discussing the matter among themselves. They could not help but envy the humans, because they had two great Holy Land universes. Teacher Origin's miniature universe has already stopped expanding. Its diameter is 52 light-years. That cannot even hold a candle to Milky Way Horde leader's miniature universe. The evolution of Teacher Origin's miniature universe had begun later, but he made it a step earlier in achieving success. By the time his miniature universe had reached a diameter of 5.2 billion light-years, the diameter of Luo Feng's miniature universe had long surpassed 90 billion light-years. After a period of close to 1 month, Luo Feng's miniature universe finally reached a diameter of 100 billion light-years. At long last, everything came to a halt. 100 billion light-years. Even sitting mountain guest was astounded. Legend. This is truly a legend. For a miniature universe at the eternal level to reach this stage, it can be considered perfect. Such a miniature universe could only exist in legends. Father God, this is simply impressive. Shimo was incomparably excited while staying suspended amid the void space. True gods of other races were all stunned and speechless, but the acceptance came easily deep in their hearts. After all, the one who had created all these miracles was Luo Feng. Since long ago, Luo Feng had already become a legend within Universe Ocean. My godly power has, once again, condensed by 100 times. Behind Luo Feng, 6 pairs of wings were outspread. For longer than 6 trillion eras, the 5th pair of wings simply could not be repaired, but now, in an instant, it was fully restored. But the godly power reserve within my miniature universe is still insufficient. If I were to transform into an ocean now, the maximum diameter possible would most likely only be slightly more than 2 light-years. Previously, his godly power reserve had been totally sufficient for him to become a true god of void space. But he was still far from becoming an eternal true god. Fortunately, my current miniature universe is much bigger than before. The swallowing and transforming of godly power has become much more efficient, too. Luo Feng nodded. Milky Way Holy Land universe was unbelievably huge. Upon absorbing the chaotic airflow, it formed a gigantic whirlpool that even a universe master would have had to travel in a palace true treasure in order to pass through. Otherwise, anything would be strangled to death. With one stride out, Luo Feng left the space of the origin and arrived at the 9 sectors mountain of Milky Way Holy Land universe. All of Luo Feng's family members were waiting for him. Ha! Luo Feng laughed as he walked toward them. Suddenly, his expression froze with that smile plastered on his face. An invisible ripple brushed past Milky Way Holy Land universe to convey a piece of information. 1 year. Luo Feng mumbled to himself. Now, he clearly understood. He had broken through to become an eternal true God. Within a year, he had to transcend reincarnation. Even though it was said to be required within a year, Teacher Origin had successfully achieved his breakthrough a month before Luo Feng. If both of them were to transcend reincarnation together, then the time remaining was, in fact, only 11 months. Father, mother. Luo Feng laughed and continued with the conversation he was having with his parents. Luo Feng and Teacher Origin met once, had a discussion, and decided that after 10 months, Luo Feng would head to Tilted Peak Sector to try to transcend reincarnation. So he had spent the past 10 months making all the necessary arrangements. In the past 10 months, Luo Feng met up with many people. Some were from his time on Earth. There were included individuals from his time growing up and maturing. Some were those who had influenced him, or those whom he had influenced. There were just too many people. His children from the pulse of remote ocean, like Shimo, were all still alive. He met up with old friends from the pulse of Earth, like Wei Wen and others. Back when he had first joined Virtual Universe Company, he had gotten to know many good friends, including Bo Lan, Rong Jun, Tu Man, and Wu Ka. Although they were all quite talented, it was still extremely difficult for them to become universe masters, and even more difficult if they wanted to become true gods. This was not an uncommon occurrence. Luo Feng's son, Luo Hai, had great opportunities, including conditions that would have been considered perfect. But he had never been able to achieve a breakthrough to become a universe master. Bo Lan and Rong Jun had finally become universe masters, while Wu Ka remained a universe knight. As for the batch of great beings from the War of Talents, there were some who had been annihilated while honing their skills, and there were even some who had not become undying fighters. They had not been able to wait until the day the humans could achieve the status of an ancient civilization. Previously, the 3 brothers of Earth had been Hong, who was naturally a true god. It was needless for Luo Feng to even mention this. As for Thunder Lord, even with the help of Luo Feng and the Pulse of Earth, it was still difficult for Thunder Lord to become a universe master. After all, to the Pulse of Earth, Thunder Lord was unquestionably a respected elder. True Yang, too, was merely a universe master at this juncture. Teacher, within my miniature universe, you are perfectly capable of achieving a breakthrough to become a true god. Luo Feng told True Yang earnestly. To me, segregating another miniature universe is really not a big deal. That official Po Yu, True Yang, on the contrary, was feeling quite uneasy. Back then, on Demon Note Mountain, although she stabbed me in the back, she had her reasons for doing so, Luo Feng said. Besides, that was a matter that took place ages ago. Teacher, do not take it to heart. Back then, the reason why official Po Yu had plotted against Luo Feng was simply to take revenge on True Yang. This involved a love story. True Yang's lover had died long ago, and True Yang felt especially guilty. He knew that official Po Yu hated him, yet he could only put up with it all. When investigation results indicated that official Po Yu had plotted against Luo Feng, True Yang had pleaded for official Po Yu. This time around, amidst all the migrations into miniature universes, official Po Yu had moved into Teacher Origin's miniature universe. This was also because True Yang had intervened along the way to help official Po Yu. This blurred the nature of the relationship between official Po Yu and True Yang. Before Luo Feng set off for his journey to achieve his breakthrough of a reincarnation era, he gave his disciples one more lesson. Then off he went. Outside Tilted Peak Sector, a ship was suspended. On it were many figures, including Primal Chaos City Leader, True Yang, Sitting Mountain Guest, Luo Honghua, Gongshin Lan, Shushin, Luo Ping, Luo Hai, Luo Hua, Darkness True God, Ice Mountain True God, and Longyang True God. They had all come to send Luo Feng and Teacher Origin off. Sitting Mountain Guest was the most relaxed of the lot. Rest assured, he said. If even Luo Feng is in danger while breaking through the reincarnation era, then East Emperor Ancestor and Purple Moon Ancestor must have long ago lost their lives. Far in the distance were Star Tower and a ship. Both were flying toward Tilted Peak Sector. Star Tower and another ship were diving into Tilted Peak Sector. One was an eternal true god, while the other was a true god of void space. They easily passed by lots of obstacles. They both knew where the incarnation was. Could you feel the calling, Teacher Origin? Luo Feng transmitted his voice. I can feel it. It's right in front of me. Teacher Origin transmitted his voice. Based on the map drawn by other great beings who went to transcend incarnation, it's right in front of us. After a short while, Star Tower was at the front while the other ship was at the back. They arrived in a vast area. Is that? Luo Feng looked at the front, and Morosa was standing beside him. That must be the incarnation, said Morosa. Luo Feng looked carefully. There was a hollow in the vast space. There was a portal entry flowing with colorful energies on the surface. At the entrance were blurry-looking beings. Some looked like humans while some looked like beasts. There were billions of beings at the portal. That must be incarnation. Luo Feng could sense the powerful summoning while supreme laws transmitted the ripples. Apparently, it was guiding Luo Feng and Teacher Origin in. And based on the map, this was the place. Let's inspect it first, Teacher Origin said, transmitting his voice. Okay. Luo Feng nodded. They started to inspect the entry of the incarnation, yet they couldn't see anything inside it. Teacher Origin transmitted his voice. Who first, Luo Feng? You or me? I'll go first. Luo Feng said. He was confident. His Star Tower was a godly king weapon, and he was an eternal true god. Either he or Teacher Origin needed to get in first. He couldn't let Teacher Origin go first. Star Tower flew over slowly. Gradually, it was immersed in the colorful light inside that portal. Then he went it completely. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Teacher Origin couldn't sense Luo Feng anymore. He took out a communications token. Inside Luo Feng's miniature universe was a godly power avatar of Luo Feng, so he carried a communications token, also. Luo Feng. Teacher Origin, answered the godly power avatar of Luo Feng. How was it? Asked Teacher Origin. Come in, answered Luo Feng. It's safe. Luo Feng was thrilled. He didn't encounter any dangers, and once he had entered the incarnation portal, he felt relieved and comfortable. This incarnation portal. Luo Feng stood inside Star Tower and looked at the outside. Within the incarnation portal were traces of blurry beings. Some were humans, some were beasts, some were plants. All sorts of beings were flying across the place. What's happening? Luo Feng put Morosa into another cabin. He waved his hands, and the golden crystal appeared in his palm. It was the golden crystal of Sitting Mountain Guest. A being condensed above the golden crystal. It was Sitting Mountain Guest's virtual consciousness. Sitting Mountain Guest looked around and said, "Oh, you've already entered incarnation. Teacher." Luo Feng looked at Sitting Mountain Guest. He had so many questions. Teacher, what do you want me to do for you? You can say it now. Also, how did you get the 9-volume manual? And Star Tower? It must be a weapon of godly kings. Ha ha ha. Slow down. We don't need to rush things. Sitting mountain guest smiled. Luo Feng took a deep breath. Do tell, teacher. I know much more than you ever suspected, said sitting mountain guest. Star Tower is indeed a godly king weapon, and it was indeed forged by me. What? Luo Feng was dazed. Sitting mountain guest had forged a godly king weapon. Could sitting mountain guest be a godly king? But sitting mountain guest had a miniature universe, and that was a fact. The fact that I forged Star Tower means I am indeed a godly king. A godly king who's great at making true treasures. Sitting mountain guest looked at Luo Feng with a smile and said smugly, I am the godly king of Jin. You are the godly king of Jin. Luo Feng was bewildered. How could sitting mountain guest be the godly king of Jin? Luo Feng had tested Star Tower in the world of Jin before, yet the virtual consciousness of the godly king of Jin in the world of Jin hadn't been able to identify it. But I tested Star Tower in the world of Jin, said Luo Feng. No need to rush. Just listen to me. Sitting mountain guest's eyes glinted with hidden complexities. Luo Feng nodded and listened carefully. He felt like sitting mountain guest might really be the godly king of Jin. First, I'll explain the power levels so that you can better understand my story, said sitting mountain guest. From true gods, there are true gods of void space, eternal true gods, the holy, and the godly kings. You are familiar with all the levels from true gods to eternal true gods. Luo Feng nodded. Eternal true gods can form a miniature universe with a single thought, said sitting mountain guest. They've already comprehended some of the origin mysteries of the universe. Like the origin of water and fire, the origin of space and time, the origin of light and darkness. Anyone who can fully comprehend one of them can become an eternal true god. Luo Feng had fully comprehended the origin of life and death. The origin of life and death was only the beginning of the path of destruction for Luo Feng. If you take one step forward, you'll control the chaos. All the laws come from chaos, which is the ultimate law. If you can control chaos, then you will be a master of chaos. Then you'll be on the level of the holy. This is very difficult, and lots of eternal true gods remain stuck there. When my Jin country was at its prime, there were many eternal true gods, but there were barely over 10 holies. Once you master the chaos, you can turn your heart of true God into the space of chaos. You'll need to morph it all by yourself, and you can only accomplish that after you master the chaos laws. Luo Feng kept thinking. He also had a heart of true God, where he hid the space of a soul, connecting the origin of his miniature universe. When you have the chaos space, you can put lots of your godly power in it, said sitting mountain guest. You can store more and more godly power. If you take one step forward, you'll be so superior that you can control the chaos space inside your body and turn it into a miniature universe. The world of Jin was a miniature universe created in my body. That miniature universe looks small, but it's actually enormous. It can breed many great beings. However, you can only perfect that miniature universe by yourself. Luo Feng was amazed. When it came to the expansion and evolution of his miniature universe, he didn't understand any of it. If someone wanted to create a miniature universe inside his body, he needed to turn it into the space of chaos first. Then it would turn into a miniature universe. It required an incredible grasp of the mysteries of the universe. Different godly kings are good at different things, said sitting mountain guest. The miniature universes created in their bodies will also be different. I'm good at making valuables, but the universe I created is delicate. Some of the miniature universes created by godly kings are very simple. The holy. The godly king. One could control the chaos, and one could even create a universe. Sitting mountain guest kept speaking. True gods of void space, eternal true gods, the holies, and the godly kings. Actually, there's a superior level to godly kings. Legend says that at that level, not even the supreme laws can restrict them anymore. At that level, one can even make the supreme laws. Sitting Mountain Guest's eyes were gleaming. However, I've been comprehending for a long time, but I just can't make a breakthrough. There's a higher level than godly kings. Luo Feng was suspicious. There should be, Sitting Mountain Guest said. Like the one who's really invincible, Yuan. Yuan made the breakthrough. Of course, one can only imagine how powerful he is at that level. Yuan. Luo Feng was taken aback. The linear element technique that he was practicing had been created by Yuan. You must have the linear element technique already. Sitting Mountain Guest smiled and looked at Luo Feng. That's the technique of Yuan. Luo Feng was astounded. How did you know? Even if Sitting Mountain Guest was really the godly king of Jin, he had never entered the world of Jin. The fact that Luo Feng had gained the linear element technique was only known by the virtual consciousness of the godly king of Jin. Sitting Mountain Guest laughed. Is that even a question? Hundreds of universe masters from Purple Moon Holy Land and the United Forces Alliance were killed all at once. You were strong enough to do so. And you didn't have the authority to command those generals. There's only one possibility, that you completed the tasks in Wuchi Tower, obtaining the linear element technique, and that's why my virtual consciousness gave you the supreme authority. You have a higher authority than the 4 generals, and that's how you killed hundreds of universe masters all at once. Luo Feng was dazed. Besides, said Sitting Mountain Guest, I also carried a manual for the linear element technique. I was about to give it to you after you became a universe master, and had stronger willpower. I didn't expect my body to arrive right after you became a universe master. You entered the world of Jin and learned linear element technique, so the manual I carried cracked. Yuan left that technique, and he left lots of manuals. However, if anyone successfully learned it, all the other manuals would be destroyed. The manual of linear element technique I carried was destroyed, your remote ocean gave out forces of willpower shock, and hundreds of universe masters were killed all at once. There's only one conclusion, that you learned linear element technique. Sitting Mountain Guest sighed. Yuan is an aloof being. His technique, linear element technique, is renowned. Many godly kings want to learn it. Unfortunately, law masters are the most suitable to learn it. True gods are fine as well. Those higher than true gods won't be able to learn linear element technique anymore. Many powers want their talents to try it, but they all fail. Teacher, asked Luo Feng. What exactly is happening? I'll tell you all my stories. You'll understand everything after you hear it, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Luo Feng listened carefully. This was the story that had been hidden by Sitting Mountain Guest for a long time. At the end of Universe Ocean is a land called the Land of Origin, and that's the so-called ancient civilization, as you all call it, said Sitting Mountain Guest. The ancient civilization. The ancient civilization was the Land of Origin, and it was at the end of Universe Ocean. I grew up in a tribe in the Land of Origin, and I was admitted to a clan of valuable making, said Sitting Mountain Guest. I fell in love with my schoolmate. I married her, and I became a peerless talent great at making valuables. I rose and established Jin country based on my clan, and I became the godly king of Jin country. I had a loving wife, and powerful and loyal officials. I was standing at the top. Everything was fantastic. However, nothing lasts forever. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. After a long time, Sha country suddenly attacked my Jin country. They killed my wife, my officials, and my brothers, and they destroyed my Jin country. Everything I built was destroyed by Shikuntri. Sitting Mountain Guest's eyes glinted with madness and resentment, even in front of his own disciple. Luo Feng sighed. Everything, including his family members who had been with him for a long time, had been destroyed. Luo Feng couldn't even imagine such pain. He had fought Sector Beast Mo He because he wanted to preserve all that. If someone destroyed those whom he had been guarding, he would risk everything to take his revenge. It's difficult to kill a godly king, said Sitting Mountain Guest. The 3 country masters hunted me, but I ran into Universe Ocean. I entered Universe Ocean and didn't come back. Instead, I went deeper. Because I wanted to enslave Sector Beasts. Enslave Sector Beasts. Luo Feng was shocked. He had successfully enslaved the king of the Sector Beasts. Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. That's right. Sector Beasts are a legend in the land of origin, and they are definitely a catastrophe. However, among all the powerful kingdoms in the land of origin, there's a country called Tianmu Country, a country more powerful and older than Shikuntri. The country master is called Purple Wood Godly King. His country was once destroyed. But then, he fled into Universe Ocean, went deep, and brought an enslaved Sector Beast back to the land of origin. It would take many countries combined to resist a Sector Beast that is fully matured, and a Sector Beast that is out of control is a nightmare. However, Purple Wood Godly King enslaved a Sector Beast so that it would follow his orders. All the enemies of Purple Moon Godly King were annihilated. As for the other countries, they were lucky that Purple Wood Godly King didn't attack them. Who would dare to mess with him? With a king of Sector Beasts, Tianmu Country boomed. Now, after a long time, the country itself is almighty. And the guarding beast, a Sector Beast, has never shown up. It became a legend. Luo Feng was confused. I've searched for information in the world of Jin. Why aren't there any detailed documents about the Sector Beasts? Ha ha. The most powerful beings that can be bred in the world of Jin in my body are eternal true gods. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. The army world won't have resources like that. The legend has been widely spread, and Purple Wood Godly King admitted it himself. It's impossible to enslave a powerful Sector Beast. I could only go and enslave the Sector Beasts that hadn't grown up yet. So I needed to go deep in Universe Ocean. I went deeper. Actually, many great beings who lost their countries and had strong hatred in their hearts did the same. They went to Universe Ocean and tried to enslave Sector Beasts. Like the last generation of Duan Dong River. He went there with Universe Boat. It might have been a powerful army. They rushed in and tried to enslave Sector Beasts that hadn't matured yet. However, even I wasn't able to do so. As for them, they all died and couldn't even be reincarnated. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. The deeper I dug into Universe Ocean, the more I realized how dangerous Universe Ocean was. Luo Feng frowned. Dangerous. Now he knew why Universe Boat was so broken, and had become one of the 3 lands of extremists. There were some notes on Universe Boat saying that they had followed an incorrect path, and they regretted it. Apparently, the message had been left under desperate circumstances. Supreme laws won't allow us to venture there, said Sitting Mountain Guest. However, there's a silver lining after all. It only asked the original mind of the original universe to hinder me. Without the permission of supreme laws, there's no need to be afraid of the original mind. However, with the help of supreme laws, the original mind can use the power of the origin of the original universe to manipulate Universe Ocean. The closer you get to the original universe, the more powerful you'll realize it is. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. You can't even imagine it. I understand that if I trespass, I'll definitely die. That's when I started to create a plan B. I firstly left a virtual consciousness in the world of jinn. Then I left the linear element technique behind, hoping that some descendants bred in the world of jinn could learn it. Then I created a valuable star tower. Something thrilling happened when I was making it. A trace of golden light merged with it, making Star Tower a godly king weapon. There are 9 levels in Star Tower, and each level has 3 levels of techniques. So there are 27 levels of techniques in total. I needed to go deep into Universe Ocean, where the original universe is, so I needed to choose disciples in the original universe. I left techniques on Star Tower for my disciples. You can drive the first and the second levels of Star Tower before you become a true god. The third and the fourth levels, you can utilize at the true god level. On the fifth and the sixth level, you can utilize them at the true god of void space level. The seventh level is for eternal true gods. The eighth level is for the holy. The ninth level is for godly kings. Sitting Mountain Guest smiled. Certainly, that's just the ordinary case. After I completed Star Tower, I put all my valuables in my Jinn Emperor Palace. Jinn Emperor Palace is the most important valuable of mine, and it's also a godly king weapon. I went deeper into Jinn Emperor Palace. When I found that I couldn't go deeper, and couldn't get out, all I could do was separate a small piece of my life imprint, and put it in Jinn Emperor Palace, performing reincarnation. Jinn Emperor Palace flew across the endless universe ocean. I was already dead. The only thing left was a trace of life imprint under the special situation of reincarnation. Jinn Emperor Palace was driven by its puppets. Without the supreme laws, the original mind couldn't stop a dead object from flying. Then I arrived at the original universe, and my life imprint was reincarnated in the original universe, becoming a special life form. Sitting Mountain Guest. Oh? Luo Feng understood it now. Reincarnation is permitted by supreme laws, said Sitting Mountain Guest. However, I still have the memories of before. I'm at a supreme level with incredible willpower, which is why supreme laws restrict me. The original mind always has its eyes on me. If I dare to disobey the supreme laws, it'll definitely seize the chance to suppress me. I only knew a little bit about the supreme laws, so I didn't dare to fight anyone with my real power. No wonder Sitting Mountain Guest had never fought anyone for real. Instead, he had always used some special skills. The original universe represents the origin of life, with endless possibilities, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Any life forms can be born as long as there's a suitable environment. I couldn't find a suitable disciple, so I made a disciple myself. I wanted to cultivate a race that was good at controlling their bodies, he continued. In my original plan, the top-tier talent of that race could reach the 3rd level on the godly power path, having endless godly bodies. That was how the Flame God race came into being, followed by your brother, Flame Emperor. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. But I was wrong. Flame Emperor indeed has a great body talent, but he has mediocre comprehension and is quite stubborn. Even as a peerless talent in the Flame God race, his comprehension can't even compare with Hong from Earth, let alone you. I gave up on that method. I gave up on Flame Emperor. Though the great beings with endless godly bodies were the real talents, I couldn't ask for so much. I also needed to consider linear element technique, and I needed to find a race that could make breakthroughs on their souls. I tested a lot, and finally, the Earthlings were created. Many talents in the history of Earth were selected by me, but they all failed to inherit Star Tower. It's indeed very difficult to inherit Star Tower, but to me, practicing linear element technique is out of the question if you can't even own Star Tower. And finally, you showed up, inheriting Star Tower. As for the weaknesses of your bodies, I could only make it up with the 9-volume manual. However, you could only reach a life gene level of 10,081 times with that. After that, you're on your own. Sitting Mountain Guest sighed. That was what I was worried about. It would be difficult for you to follow the path of godly bodies. Fortunately, you gained the body of remote ocean, and you gained the inherited technique of creation. You finally made a breakthrough. Luo Feng understood everything now. Teacher, when those sector beasts were attacking us, why didn't you go enslave them? Asked Luo Feng. Is it because you're not powerful enough? I am restrained everywhere in the original universe, said Sitting Mountain Guest. The original mind treats me as its greatest enemy, so I follow the ordinary path to become a true god so that it won't send anyone after me. I don't have a solid foundation, and my godly power is too weak. Even if a sector beast were to lie down in front of me, I wouldn't be able to enslave it. If I were still a godly king, I would be able to do so. Besides, if I fought the sector beasts, the original mind would seize the chance to suppress, or even destroy me. Luo Feng was shocked. But the original mind is hostile toward sector beasts as well. No, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Compared to the sector beasts, it's more afraid of me. Sector beasts will force it to destroy the original universe, and the mind might be harmed. As for me, I'll be able to transfer the soul of the original universe if I keep growing. Soul transfer. Luo Feng recalled the words of Teacher Origin. But I wouldn't do such a thing, said Sitting Mountain Guest. My foundation is too weak this time. I even follow the law path to become a true god. Soon, I'll make a breakthrough and become a true god of void space. And then, I'll go transcend incarnation in Jin Emperor Palace. I'll be back in the land of origin and reincarnated again. If I reincarnate in the land of origin, I won't be restricted by any supreme laws, and then, I'll become a true god at the third level of godly body. That's the only way I can become stronger. As for executing soul transfer on the original universe, I am already a godly king, so soul transfer on the original universe wouldn't benefit me much. And that's why I was willing to give up my own miniature universe to protect yours. Even if my miniature universe was destroyed, I could still pass the incarnation portal in Jin Emperor Palace. Both Jin Emperor Palace and Star Tower can protect souls very well. Luo Feng asked, is the land of origin at the end of the incarnation? Ha ha ha, Sitting Mountain Guest laughed. I'll explain it this way. The land of origin is the origin of all the dimensions and space. That's why it's called the land of origin. All the dimensions. Luo Feng pressed. Universe ocean around the land of origin looks like an endless hollow, but it actually has different dimensions and spaces. You'll enter another dimension of universe ocean easily. There are, in total, 3,000 dimensions of universe ocean. Each universe ocean has an original universe, and each of them has an incarnation portal. The incarnation portals have two usages. A creature bred in the original universe can get to the land of origin through the incarnation portals after becoming a true god of void space. If they can't become true gods of void space in time, their souls will return to the land of origin through the incarnation portal when they die. However, along the incarnation portal, only powerful souls can reach the land of origin. As for the weak ones, they'll be annihilated. And those souls will all lose their previous memories. To sum it up, powerful souls bred by the 3,000 original universe dimensions will be sent to the land of origin. The life forms bred in the land of origin are all powerful, as the weaker souls are all annihilated in the incarnation portal. Luo Feng was thrilled. The origin of all dimension spaces. The center. The universe ocean of 3,000 dimensions is the foundation of the land of origin. The land of origin is the common origin point of all dimensions. Sitting Mountain Guest exclaimed. It's also the most prosperous place. Many powerful loners left their own secret inheritances, and there are also many powerful tribes and countries. There are so many different powers that intertwine. It is chaotic. Sometimes, there are talents rising from the 3,000 dimensions of universe ocean. Talents rising. Luo Feng was dazed. Yes. Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. You've been wondering why Purple Moon tries to suppress humans and kill you, right? Why? Asked Luo Feng. Because the human race obtained the inheritance from the ancient civilization, and it was about to boom. If he didn't suppress you, there would be many true gods born in the human race, even true gods of void space. As for you, you have a bright future. If you keep growing, you might transfer the soul of the original universe before he does. Soul transfer on the original universe? Asked Luo Feng. That's right. Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. There are many powers in the land of origin, and there are lots of secret inheritances. How could the brats from the 3,000 universe ocean dimensions rise? Once their willpower gets stronger, they might be able to do soul transfer on the original universe. Once he succeeds, he'll get to comprehend all the mysteries in the original universe, and it'll be easy for him to be the holy. He might even become a godly king. I suspect that Purple Moon was absorbed by a particular power, so he knows about the information of soul transfer on the original universe. East Emperor is also in the land of origin, so Purple Moon can't find him. He can only target you. You have such great potential that he has to do everything in his power to destroy you. Once Purple Moon's willpower reaches the holy level, he'll try to execute soul transfer. Based on the power of the original mind, the difficulty varies. Normally, those with willpower at the holy level can get the soul. However, once someone reaches the godly king level, he can definitely succeed no matter how difficult it is. I'm already a godly king, so there's no need for me to do soul transfer. I actually don't care about it. However, the original mind refuses to believe me. It's afraid of me, so it targets me all the time. Luo Feng looked forward to it. When he was fighting Mo He, his willpower had already reached the holy level. After more than 6 trillion eras, his willpower had also improved. After merging his own willpower into the original universe, it was like he experienced the total destruction of the original universe, influencing him to a large extent. His willpower was at the top-tier holy level now. You also practice linear element technique, so you'll be great at soul transfer. Sitting Mountain Guest smiled. When you enter the land of origin, you can try it by using the godly power avatar in your miniature universe to rob the soul of the original mind. Why was teacher origin suppressed? Asked Luo Feng. Soul transfer is tempting. Sitting Mountain Guest smiled. You have to leave universe ocean and enter the land of origin before you can do so. Your original body is in the land of the origin, then the original universe won't be able to suppress your original body even if it wants to. You can try to do soul transfer again and again until you succeed. Teacher origin isn't smart enough. His willpower is at the eternal true God level, and he also has the virtual universe to be combined with the original universe. He could have succeeded. However, his original body is in universe ocean, so the original mind can easily suppress him. Sitting Mountain Guest sighed. You're my disciple. I cultivated you, and you should understand that I want you to kill the 3 country masters of Sha country. I need to give you some advice before you enter the land of origin. The land of origin is the origin of all the dimensions of the universe. It has countless valuables, but it also has the talents who flooded in from all 3,000 dimensions of the universe from countless eras. They fought the indigenous people in the land of origin in the beginning. The indigenous people were stupid, so they couldn't compare with the great beings from the 3,000 dimensions of the universe. Gradually, there were more and more great beings, and after they procreated, they occupied more than 90% of the territory. I also belong to that team. As for the indigenous people, they can only hide in some horrendous places. They are still resisting it. Like the strange objects you found in Universe Ocean, like that strange wood used by Yuan Ao Master. That's a weapon used by the indigenous people from the land of origin. They have no idea how to make weapons, so they can only use strange wood and strange metal as weapons. Did you see lots of bloodstains on those true treasure weapons? Sitting Mountain Guest smiled. Those are the deserted weapons from the land of origin. They flowed into Universe Ocean and flowed here. Luo Feng nodded. He understood now. Actually, many secrets behind the original universe that were unknown could be traced back to the land of origin. Supreme laws want to protect you, so they forbid us from talking about lots of the information of land of origin. Sitting Mountain Guest sighed. We can only refer to it as the ancient civilization, and say that the ancient civilization was destroyed already. Besides, if you travel along the incarnation portal, you might show up anywhere in the land of origin, so you might not be able to find Teacher Origin. It's all right. I've already said enough, said Sitting Mountain Guest. But remember, even godly kings will run away, and I am one of them. Be careful and survive first. Then you'll stand a chance of dealing with the 3 country masters of Country. Remember, the most important thing is to stay alive. There are many things in the land of origin waiting for you to explore. This virtual consciousness of mine must go now. Otherwise, my enemies will find out and learn my secrets. Disciple, you're on your own from now on. The image of Sitting Mountain Guest in front of him broke. Luo Feng stayed silent for a long time. There were 3,000 dimension spaces, and each dimension had 1 universe ocean and 1 original universe. The common point of origin was the land of origin. That's right. There are no restrictions on the inheritance of Duan Dong River now. I can read all of it. Star Tower was moving forward in the incarnation portal, so Luo Feng had enough time to read all the memory stones of the Duan Dong River inheritance. As Luo Feng read about it, he knew more about the land of origin. There were many schools, secret inheritances, tribes, cities and mountains, and they might all be powers. Also, there are many secret organizations. The most powerful ones were the countries established by godly kings. Time flew. The dimension where Luo Feng stayed was too far from the land of origin. Even moving through the incarnation portal, it took him over a month to get there. Huh! Luo Feng sensed the strange ripples and looked up. Master, I can feel it, said Morosa. It should be right in front of us. Luo Feng nodded. He looked forward with gleaming in his eyes. Luo Feng had said before that his life was splendid because of fighting and bright, because of his family. He wanted to guard his family members, but he didn't want a tame life. He craved adventures and fighting. He wanted to see more and to experience more. Clearly, the land of origin was where he wanted to go, the origin of the 3,000 dimensions. He saw some brightness. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Land of origin, here I come. I go because I want to stand at the top. I want to see the most beautiful scenes. All of a sudden, Star Tower disappeared in the brightness. An even more mysterious and breathtaking adventure was about to begin in the land of origin. This video will end here.